The limits of what you see, your eyes can see only 0.0035% of the electromagnetic spectrum. Everything else, infrared, ultraviolet, cosmic radiation, you're blind to. Yet you call this narrow band reality. Stay with me till the end of this video because you'll realize that the world you see is not the world that is. And yes, yogic science does say you can hack this limitation, not through gadgets or substances, but through your own brain and awareness. The brain is a filter, not a window. Most people believe the brain shows them reality, but the truth is, it hides more than it reveals. Sadhguru once said, your brain is not a place of perception, it's a place of interpretation. It takes the flood of sensory input, filters out 99% of it, and gives you a tiny, comfortable illusion that you can manage. You don't see reality, you see your version of it. The yogic view has always said this: the brain is like a mirror covered with dust. When you clean it through yoga, meditation, and awareness, the mirror becomes transparent. You stop seeing through the brain and start seeing beyond it. Modern neuroscience says your perception is predictive. Your brain constantly guesses what's out there based on memory. That's why when you see a snake shaped rope in the dark, your mind instantly says snake, not because it sees, but because it remembers. The yogic sciences knew this millennia ago. They said the manas, mind, and chitta, pure consciousness, are two distinct layers. If you live only in manas, the memory driven mind, you live in illusion. But if you touch chitta, which Sadhguru calls untouched intelligence, perception explodes. You stop predicting reality. You start experiencing it. You can't hack your brain by adding more data. That's like pouring water into an overflowing cup. The real hack is in subtraction. When yogis close their eyes and focus on stillness, they are not escaping the world. They are shutting down the filters. The brain, deprived of constant sensory noise, begins to recalibrate. The waves of perception, alpha, beta, gamma, start to shift. In deep meditation, brain activity synchronizes, creating coherence between hemispheres. Sadhguru once said, when your mind becomes still, perception rises beyond the physical. That's not metaphor, that's literal. Many advanced yogis have demonstrated heightened perception, seeing colors, sounds, and even movements beyond normal human ability. Have you ever noticed how, in moments of danger, time slows down? That's not imagination. Your perception is expanding. The brain momentarily lifts its filters, letting in more data per second. Now imagine a brain trained to stay that way: open, heightened, receptive, without stress. That's what yogis do. They access higher states of perception, not hallucination but hyperreality. In Himalayan traditions, they call this Trigunatit, transcending the three qualities of the mind. When that happens, the brain doesn't project, it receives. You begin to sense energies, vibrations, even thoughts before they manifest. To the logical mind, It sounds impossible, but to a yogi, this is just the beginning of seeing truth without distortion. Today, many people turn to substances, psychedelics, LSD, to break the walls of perception. They open certain doors. Yes, but without mastery, you can't choose which doors open. A yogi, on the other hand, is a conscious traveler. He decides when to expand perception and when to close it. As Sadhguru says, yoga is not about blurring the boundaries of perception, it's about dissolving them consciously. The difference is precision. You can hack the brain chemically or consciously, but only the latter makes you the master of your system. When perception crosses the physical barrier, the world looks utterly different. You don't see objects, you see vibrations, energy patterns, geometry. Everything that exists, from your thought to a star, is made of the same fundamental energy, just vibrating differently. Yogic texts describe this as darshan, to see existence as it truly is. That's why great beings like Shiva or the Buddha are always depicted with half closed eyes, not looking outward, not inward, but through piercing the veil between the seen and the unseen. That's the real hack, not manipulating the brain, but transcending it. You don't need to live in a cave to begin. Start by simply observing, without labeling, without judging. Notice the silence between two thoughts. In that space, perception begins to expand. Over time, you'll realize what you call you and the world are not two. They are one continuous field of consciousness mirrored in your brain. When you quiet the mirror, the reflection merges with the source. That is seeing beyond reality. If this opened a new doorway to your mind, share it with someone who's ready to see beyond the surface. Like this video, leave a comment with your experience and subscribe, because we are just beginning to explore how consciousness bends what we call reality. Each week, we'll journey deeper into mysticism and the forgotten science of awareness. See you in the next one. Until then, remain awake, remain aware.